in Russia, we had a very big operation in the Kara Sea. And, you know, we're talking hundreds of miles before an actual helicopter could come out to medevac people out there. So anything that we can do to remove people from being out in those kinds of harsh environments, same goes for deep water, where we've already seen incidents that have happened in deep water. So that's my choice would be just thinking 20 years, you know, where the next types of oil exploration and finding will be. I think the automation and robotics piece will be.
If you were to take that question in the specific of Qatar, would you answer differently?
You know, Qatar is a pretty harsh environment to operate in as well, especially in the summer, as we all know. Right. So we're doing quite a bit of work at ExxonMobil Research Qatar in the field of in automation and using things like infrared cameras, which are also a crossover technology from the military, combined with an in-house algorithm that is now commercialized and for sale by Providence Photonics, if anyone's interested. But basically for leak detection at facilities. So you can put an infrared camera in a place and have an automatic scanning to detect hydrocarbon leaks. And this was all something that was developed and commercialized at ExxonMobil Research Qatar. And that's a much safer alternative to what is usually known as Method 21 in terms of LDAR, leak detection and repair, where you have people go out to the facilities and scan these types of leaks. So by automating and doing a remote sensing type of detection, and even now we're moving into the quantification piece, which goes into environmental and fugitive emissions pieces. I still think it's a very important part for Qatar, but I could probably be convinced that the big data piece and as well as the ones that you all brought up, I think it's all important. Why isn't there an E there?
The greatest impact, though, Dr. Adnan, would it be presumptuous to say you said A? Or
I always vote for A. I don't know why.
A keeps you in business.
It's the easiest one just to press. Data, collecting data, translating that into intelligence, whether big data, small data, wide data, narrow data, and creating analytics is you cannot do automation without really one. So it's one, and A and B are tightly coupled. I think automation, monitoring will be fully enabled through data management, collection, analytics, prediction, monitoring. So I believe data and analytics, I voted for that, but it's a key enabler for all of them, which all of them are important. It's just given that it will enable automation, it will, to a certain extent, enable robotics. Not sure whether it will enable nanotechnologies, but it will make everything work in a much better way. Other than that, I think we can have lots of systems. If you don't really use the data intelligently, make it actionable, I think the benefit will not be there.
May I just bring a microphone to the front here? I'd like to ask Dr. Julien how you voted on this and your opinion on this one.
So for me, I voted nanotechnologies. Because I think that nanotechnologies are already quite important. We already use nanosensors. For instance, we can put nanosensors on drones to measure the atmosphere of the air quality on our installations. There were already some tests about nano tracers in reservoirs. And in the future, I think that nano transporters in pipes, nano coatings to avoid the deposition of scales could be important topics. So, of course, all of them are important, and the result is quite balanced finally.
Yes, but
I had to vote, and I voted nanotechnology.
I mean, nanotechnology surprises me as the getting the most votes. Maybe that's a reflection that we've a lot of scientists are knowledgeable people in the audience in that respect. But is there anybody in the audience I could solicit for a vote on E, crossover technologies? If anybody would be here in the front. Brian, if you could take a microphone to the front. And if you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself.
Abdelhamid Khairi, Oryx GTL. I think the crossover and the ecosystem is the main enabler for all research and development in the new era. Because if you look at where are we now, it's basically because of the crossover between engineering and medical. If you see where were we 20
Sorry,
years
just
back,
hold the mic for a little bit.
22 years back, 24 years back, comparing what engineers done for medical, all our medical equipments now are based on engineering and based on engineering research and development. Without this, just imagine if you don't have air condition, which is an engineering, and this is crossover technology between engineering and the surgery cannot done any surgeon for at any place. And if you look at all medical equipments now, which is basically based on the engineering research and engineering development, engineering units, you cannot even measure your blood pressure. You cannot do any blood tests. Just taking this and build on it all the medical research and all the medical advancement for last century, it's based on engineering. Coming from this and build up on the advancement in health, the people are healthier and they are think wider, and even the Silicon Valley was based on the cross. So it's all about crossover technology and the ecosystem with all fairness.
Thank you. We will just take our final question and give the panel the opportunity to make closing comments. When looking at crossover technologies, should the oil and gas industry focus on adopting innovations aimed at improving safety and security over others, given rising concerns over cybersecurity in particular? So an A or a B, when looking at crossover technologies, should the oil and gas industry focus on adopting innovations aimed at improving safety and security over others, given rising concerns over cybersecurity? So in essence, should we be looking at getting cyber safety and security from other sectors where it has been deployed in significant ways? Yes or no, vote, 10 seconds. Crossover technologies, adopting innovations aimed at improving safety and security over others, given rising concerns over cybersecurity in particular. Yes or no? Okay, a big yes. I'd like to give everybody the opportunity, just in concluding the conversation, where we may go in the coming years in terms of the development of an innovation ecosystem here in Qatar. All of the pieces that make up that puzzle. We've talked about them a lot this morning in different pieces, and I'd like to just migrate across, starting with you, Dr. Adnan, your closing thoughts on that.
I think the biggest problem I see is that, unfortunately, probably most of us do not understand what innovations mean. How does it relate to R&D? How does it relate to business? So understanding the concept of innovation, in my view, innovation is really about bringing knowledge to the marketplace through better products, better services, new business models, which complements research and development. So we need to have an end-to-end innovation strategy where R&D is a component of that, but it's not a replacement of it. R&D is necessary for innovation, but it's not a replacement of innovation. So a holistic end-to-end approach is extremely important for industries as well as at the country level. Otherwise, the investment that we are making in research and development, if we don't know how to take it further through an innovation framework, people will be disappointed and people will start losing faith about the value of research and development if you don't make an impact in the marketplace.
I think having the right organization in the place with a clear vision and strategic is very important, and this organization has to play the right role in order to facilitate all the collaboration we need to do. And I think we have the right infrastructure today, but we need to enhance again how we really connect and have the right future vision in innovation.
Okay, Dr. Derham.
Well, I think with the vision of the leadership of the country, together with the structure and the initiatives that has been taken during the last 10 years, and again, the challenge of understanding innovation and how to bring it to the market, I think another big challenge is how to motivate the locals to go into the track of R&D as well as into innovation. Everyone usually would like to use an easy way or an easy path to live in an easy life. However, in order to compete against the international standards, you have to work hard and work harder than others. And people here in Qatar are, who are, already, well, in terms of financial resources, wouldn't go into this direction unless there is a real motive. Finding this motive is very important for the local people here in order to put them on the right track.
Well, I'm going to just give Jennifer the opportunity to speak at the podium to sort of wrap up the morning. So just save your thoughts. But I'd like you to join me in thanking our panel for their insights and wisdom on crossover technologies. Thank you very much.